Coming up on Around San Diego, Larry Millette back in court after being found guilty of murdering his wife, Maya. Details on a new charge as a sentencing date was just set. And a proposed change to water rates could mean customers who use less water would actually have to start paying more. Plus, growing concern over harassment of sea lions at La Jolla Cove, what the city is doing to better protect the pups and popular spot this summer. Hello and welcome to you. Thank you for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm News 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories of the week so far, and we will look ahead at what's to come around San Diego. We do begin with growing concern over people repeatedly harassing our sea lions there at La Jolla Cove. Witnesses tell News 8 the problem has only gotten worse with summer crowds, so our Shannon Handy has more on what we can do.
The city has done more this year to prevent people from harassing sea lions, everything from added signage to the presence of rangers. There's also volunteers here daily from the Sierra Club Seal Society, yet time and time again their warnings get ignored.
This guy trying to give the poor Seal Society person grief.
Video recorded at La Jolla Cove over the weekend shows a tense exchange between a visitor and a volunteer who was asking him to stay back from a sea lion pup.
Classic example of why this beach should just be closed.
Chris Galoyu, an animal advocate who posted the video, says scenes like this have become all too common.
It's like a petting zoo, and nobody's taking control.
Not only is it a safety risk, but it's also illegal to touch, feed, or harass sea lions. While there's no federal rule requiring people to stay a specific distance away, experts recommend giving them plenty of space, especially during pupping season. Galoyu says disturbing mothers can have serious consequences for their young.
Mom will abandon the pup as a survival skill. They just know I'm in danger, something goes off in their head, and they swim off, and poor baby gets left behind.
The Sierra Club Seal Society estimates 10 pups have died at La Jolla Cove so far this year.
And we're not seeing that kind of mortality rate in the closed area at Point La Jolla.
Robin Davidoff with the Seal Society isn't calling for the cove to be closed. Instead, she wants to see stronger enforcement.
So what we would like to see is rangers on the beach, and we would also like to see some cones and tapes on the beach showing people where they should stand behind.
On Tuesday, cones were placed near a staircase where a pup was resting. Rangers also patrolled the area above the beach and make regular announcements over loudspeakers.
For your safety and the safety of the animal.
But Davidoff notes rangers don't begin their shifts until 11 a.m. She says volunteer docents try to fill the gap, but they often face resistance from visitors, and there aren't enough of them to provide round-the-clock coverage.
We are volunteers. We have no authority. It's difficult to staff our docents because it's a difficult job.
So why can't the city do more? City officials say the answer largely comes down to jurisdiction. Closing the beach will require a lengthy permitting and regulatory process. And in regards to ticketing people, the city says that responsibility belongs to NOAA. A city spokesperson says park rangers document potential violations and refer them to NOAA for review when appropriate. I reached out to NOAA and am still waiting for a response.
If we could simply just get a NOAA officer down here for a couple of weeks, that might put some scare tactics in play, and maybe it'll keep people up off the sand.
Shannon Handy, News 8.
Now to the Larry Millette murder trial. He was convicted, and we now know when he will be sentenced. He was back in court this week for the first time since a jury found him guilty of murdering his wife, Maya. This new charge, though, centered around his firearms. Police say Millette kept this arsenal in his home, which they say included illegal assault weapons. Millette did plead guilty to it, and the judge set the sentencing for both cases September 29th. He is facing 25 years to life in prison. Cameras had not previously been allowed in the courtroom all throughout the trial, but we were allowed for this latest hearing. Well, there is growing opposition to the proposed location of a new fire station in San Diego's mid-city area. It's on a hillside near 47th Street and Fairmont Avenue in the Webster neighborhood. The city has been planning to build the station for more than a decade to serve an area that is, the city says, some slower response times. But environmental groups and community members say the location that's being considered would wipe out valuable open space.
Our community is being asked to sacrifice one of its last opportunities for green space in a community that has no neighborhood park.
Yeah, neighbors also worry about the impact on traffic and noise pollution. The city tells us it will not comment until the environmental impact report is completed and returned. Well, CAL FIRE says Station 15 will be shut down for 2 to 3 months for what they call critical infrastructure renovations. It's on West Lilac Road near the 15 north of Escondido. Officials say fire and EMS services will be provided by Deer Springs Fire Station 11. Non-emergency calls can be made to Fire Station 10 in Fallbrook. Well, cosplay characters and actors, not the only ones at San Diego Convention Center this week. 6,000 to 8,000 volunteers also help out at Comic-Con. Thousands apply for the position. There is no job interview, and those who get the gig do just find out by email. The biggest perk of the job is a free badge to attend the convention the rest of the day before or after your shift.
People want to come because they want to experience the convention. That makes sense. We all do. But even as a volunteer, you have a job to do. And, if you're dedicated to that and you do a good job, we'd like to have you back.
Yeah, good way to get in. Volunteer spots for the rest of this year are full, but you could apply for next year's convention. The minimum age was actually 17 this year, but increases to 18 for 2027. We know that Comic-Con will be here in San Diego through at least 2030 now. And we do want to see your pictures. You can text photos to 858-571-8888. We'd love to share them on TV. It's great out there. All right, we are working for you on how to keep your personal items safe in these bigger crowds. This comes after reports of cell phone thefts over Pride weekend.
And we actually had someone in here that the girls took him down the ground and held him until our security could get him out. And so when our security got him, he's like, I don't know what's going on. They're like, phone thief.
Yeah, that's the owner of Gossip Girl there, who has trained staff to spot a pickpocketer. You can protect yourself by using a strong passcode, enabling that Face ID or fingerprint unlock, staying aware, of course, of your surroundings, and keeping valuables off the bar or table in your front pocket is best. If your phone is stolen, don't chase the thief. Just use the Find My service to lock the device from another phone. Call your carrier and change your email password. Aye. All right, coming up next, allegations from the Department of Justice on UC San Diego's admissions process, what the DOJ is claiming, and the response from the university. Well, San Diego homeowners who use less water could see their monthly bills increase thanks to a proposed rate change that would eliminate the city's tiered pricing system. So right now, those who use less pay less, and those who use more pay more. But a court ruling against the city last year might bring big changes to water bills starting next year.
When San Diegans turn on the tap in 2027, it may come with a higher price tag.
The ruling came out a year ago, but the city just recently agreed on a settlement.
That's Michael Fertali, a San Diego resident and retired city employee who used to work on creating water rates. A 2025 court ruling against the city of San Diego determined the city's current rate structure does not adhere to Proposition 218. Prop 218 matters for water because it imposes limitations on fees. In short, it says everybody is supposed to pay fees in proportion to the cost of what they get in return. If the proposed rate adjustments are approved, all San Diego customers would pay the same rate, regardless of how much water they use.
You're still going to be charged for the amount of water you used. What's changing is that the first gallon you use will cost the same as the last gallon you use. So if you only use water for cooking and cleaning and things like that, you're going to pay more. If you use water for cooking and cleaning and watering your lawn and filling the pool, you're still going to pay more, but you'll just be paying a slightly lower rate for all of the water you use.
This is a overtly anti-equitable ruling.
Under city estimates shared at last Tuesday's city council meeting, single-family homes with low water usage would see their monthly bills increase by about 7%, or an average of $5.62 more each month. Meanwhile, single-family homes with high water usage would see their monthly bills decrease by nearly 6%, saving an average of $19.52 per month.
To make sure we're 100% explicit about it, there's nothing that we believe we can do about this short of an amendment to the California Constitution. Is that accurate?
Yes, because we've exhausted all legal remedies, and this is a part of the state constitution, and the only thing to change that is a vote of the people.
Right.
That was our Steffi Roche reporting. And because most California communities use similar tiered water rate systems, Fratelli there says that it is unclear how this San Diego case could have broader implications across the state. The city council is scheduled to hear public comment before voting on the proposal October 6th. If approved, the new rates would take effect then in January. Well, more relief is on the way for families in the South Bay breathing toxic air. San Diego County is handing out more of those air purifiers to households dealing with the health effects of hydrogen sulfide fumes from the Tijuana River sewage crisis. This new round builds on a filter distribution program that started last year. You can check if your household qualifies by visiting the county's Air Pollution Control District website. That link is on our website as well as your screen there. Well, a measure that would give Chula Vista City Council members a pay raise will not be heading to the November ballot. Council members voted 4-1 to remove any provision relating to compensation to a proposed amendment of the city charter. Now, if that amendment went forward, council members' salary would have gone from around $64,000 to $110,000. The mayor's salary would have gone from $161,000 to $171,000, and even he is opposed to it.
You know, no one else is asking for this type of money. And you know why? It's because no one else should.
I did not run for this office for a paycheck. I ran for mayor because I want to serve the city of Chula Vista.
Council members also struck down increased term limits and voted to send back other charter amendments to the Charter Review Commission, which will then report back to the City Council in the future. Well, Poway is one step closer to banning AI data centers. City Council members have voted to draft a proposal to ban standalone data centers in the city. Before taking that vote, some residents spoke out in support of the ban, while union representatives said the city should not move forward so quickly.
Living in a home where I can sit in my yard at night and enjoy silence, and would love to preserve that for as long as I live here and for future generations.
So we're urging you guys, let's put some more depth in this. Let's look into this. Let's study this. Let's look at the varieties of data centers before you just slam the gavel and do a blanket ban.
Protect the character.
Yeah, Mayor Steve Voss and Council Member Anita Edmondson says that these facilities demand too much from public infrastructure, including electricity and water. It is now up to the city manager and city attorney to draft an ordinance amending the city's municipal code to ban standalone AI data centers within 60 days. And the U.S. Department of Justice is accusing UC San Diego School of Medicine of illegally using race in its admissions process. In an 8-page findings letter, the DOJ claims the school is violating the Civil Rights Act by using applicants' responses about personal hardship to identify their race and maybe favor underrepresented minority applicants. Investigators say internal emails, admissions records, and data show Black applicants were admitted at more than twice the rate of white applicants for the last 3 years. The Justice Department is now seeking an agreement to bring the school's admission practices into compliance with federal law. UC San Diego says it is reviewing the letter and maintains all applicants were held to the same academic standards. Well, the city of San Diego wants to slow you down. This week, crews installed signs with lower speed limits around San Ysidro and Otay Mesa. It's all part of the city's comprehensive speed management program. Streets with a high number of fatal or serious collisions, safety corridors, and areas with high pedestrian activity could see the speed limits go down by 5 miles per hour. The speed limit could drop as low as 15 miles per hour in school zones and 25 in business districts. So stay safe, my friends. Coming up, one of the newest additions to the San Diego Zoo family finally on display. We'll tell you about this little babe when we return. Welcome back. A longtime downtown San Diego steakhouse just welcomed customers back after 2 years. Redogato reopened after a fire forced it to close in 2024. We are told the fire started in the building's chimney. While the cause was never determined, the manager says the water used to put out the fire cost about $700,000 in damages.
It's kind of like a spiritual moment for us too, because our fire actually occurred on Comic-Con, so we wanted to be open for Comic-Con.
Yeah, glad they are. While the dining room does look different, the manager says customers can still expect the same traditional Brazilian favorites they've been serving since 1999, along with new additions as well. Well, also a new lease on life for the once iconic building downtown that has fallen kind of into disrepair. The long-abandoned California Theater building at the corner of 4th Avenue and C Street has become somewhat of an eyesore over the past decade. The Prebys Foundation, one of San Diego's largest philanthropic organizations, though, just signed an agreement to buy this 99-year-old building for $6.3 million. Demolition of the building could take up to a year, and then after, the nonprofit says it'll focus on how to redevelop the property as part of a larger revitalization effort for downtown San Diego.
Interest in things like housing, but we also want to understand, like, what does the community want to see, what's right, and that investment really, we believe, will not only make downtown safer, but it's an opportunity for us to imagine together what's possible next.
Yeah, the sales transaction scheduled to be finalized July 31st. Hey, also something new to share with you from the San Diego Zoo, a new royal arrival even. Meet Makeda, a new Hamadryas baboon who is now on display there in Africa Rocks. Named after the Queen of Sheba, Makeda's name symbolizes royalty and greatness. She was born June 25th to mom Anakin and dad Lex. The zoo says she is already getting lots of attention from her parents and the rest of the troop. For the first few weeks of life, baboon infants cling to their mother's fur as she moves around, but zoo visitors may also see her playing on her own as she builds that independence. So sweet. Coming up, it's a story kind of hard to believe. A family checking into an Airbnb finds a picture of themselves right on the wall. Keep it here. Well, our thanks now to one CBS viewer who let us know a civil rights leader was being recognized. Dee Averill Seidel wrote to David Baganot about her grandmother, Margaret Austin Haywood, who spent her life breaking barriers.
Dee Averill Seidel wrote to me about her grandmother, Margaret Austin Haywood, who spent her life breaking barriers as a lawyer, a judge, and a civil rights pioneer in our nation's capital.
This is a huge article.
Judge Haywood built a remarkable legacy, and as her last living direct descendant, Dee didn't want the world to forget about her grandmother. One hope she had was that Judge Haywood's life and work might be preserved in the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
After watching David's stories, I thought, well, I'm going to reach out to him. I decided to take a chance.
And then we decided to reach out to the Smithsonian. And a few months later, we called Dee with some big news.
So I'm like, I don't know who this is. I'm not going to answer it. And I thought, well, maybe I better take a look. I went, oh my God, it is you. I was so shocked.
I'm calling with a surprise. So the African American History Museum created something about your grandmother.
Oh my
goodness! Judge Margaret Austin Haywood now has a permanent home on the Smithsonian's website. Her page was timed to go live on Washington, D.C.'s Emancipation Day.
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, my, David, you are amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just blown away. They created several links about different stages of what she did. I just was amazed. This was more than just a one-liner. I'm about to break into tears for real now. I was so excited and just so grateful. And I said, oh my gosh, David, you don't know how much this means. I've been wanting to do this for years, and you made it happen. You made it happen.
Thank you for your service, Judge.
They're literally
in the Airbnb picture.
We have those swimsuits.
Yeah, you've got to hear this one. A family stay at an oceanside Airbnb took a surprising turn when they spotted what looked like a photo of themselves hanging on the wall. The family from Utah was celebrating their grandfather's 80th birthday when they saw the photo shortly after checking in, and sure enough, it was them.
My dad had walked up to help unpack some things, and he jokingly looked at the picture and was like, "Hey, that looks like me." And we went and looked, we're like, "That is you," and that's Libby, my sister, and my brother.
It must have been so surreal. The photo dated back to a San Diego trip they took 12 years ago for a soccer tournament. They reached out to the host of the Airbnb. They said the decorator of the house is a photographer who then decorates the houses with, of course, his own photos. So just a random coincidence, but yeah, cool to share with you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. As always, for News 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.